Hey, welcome to the Inside Integration Podcast. I'm Chris. I'm joined as always by my partner, Jayson.
What's up, everybody?
And today we're going to spend a lot of time talking about TVs.
Yeah, big TVs, little TVs, all the TVs. Yeah, no, we've had a lot. I'll just say this: we've had some personal interactions lately that sort of spawned the idea behind this episode, and I think maybe can address some questions that we've gotten pretty recently and regularly here lately as we see the trend in the pricing for TVs start to decline, and the question becomes, where are the we'll just call it $10,000 and up TV sets at, and where's the new technology? And I think part of the reason we wanted to have this episode was really to sort of talk about what we do know about that, what we don't know, and maybe kick it around a little bit, and hopefully get some feedback from some of our viewers out there and on some of the ideas that that they've got about how to make money in the TV market these days.
Well, and there's a lot going on, right? We've got everything from micro LED, mini LED, QD LED, quantum dot displays. We've got huge video walls. We've got short throw projection. Like there's so much going on in displays right now. But to your point, where's the Kuro, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the plasma TV that came on a pallet for $25,000 that
right.
I couldn't keep in stock?
I need me one of those 103-inch Panasonics that only runs off a 220 that you have to wire for and reinforce. Right?
I don't need radiant heating in my house anymore. I've got this big glass thing that maybe shortening my life a little bit, but I'm fine with it because I'll be toasty warm.
I can watch Dateline and cook a burrito on the same appliance.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, those were the days, right? As much as things have improved over time, there are still some of those intrinsic sort of built-in downfalls that come with progress. So you got something new, it's a brand new bar, and everybody's like, yeah, I don't even know what the price is for that. Let's just make it X money. And then as time marches on, all of a sudden, 5-6 years later, it's worth maybe 25% of what the value is. And just to illustrate it here, right? Like you could look at a 65-inch OLED, like the TV that I have behind me. If you ever catch the video portion of this, I've got a 65-inch OLED on my wall, which at the time was probably I don't know, $9,000 to $10,000 TV, and I know I've certainly handled 65-inch OLEDs that were in the $14,000 to $15,000 range. So as an integrator right now, you're probably looking around going, well, where are those opportunities?
Right.
But by and large, those higher price tags came with newer technology. 4K was younger at that time, and then OLED was still emerging and still new and still very premium. We've seen that technology mature, and we've started to see the prices decline as a result, and not specifically to pick on OLED, right? But just the panel tech overall has just come down in prices. And I know there's a few reasons for that. First, I think, and foremost, is the amount of, you illustrated it already, the amount of new options that didn't exist even, 5 years prior to now. And I'm sorry if you hear my dogs decided to join the podcast.
Dogs are welcome, man. They are welcome to the show.
They will be heard, but maybe never seen. You never know. But we've seen a whole bunch of new tech emerge. Short throw projector can be had now for under $10,000. Where I may have hurt my back along the way somewhere. I remember having a $50,000 short throw projector and then like a $25,000 short throw projector. So even in the short lifespan of that product's life cycle, excuse me, you saw the price cut in half, and then even again and by like another 2/3 or something. So $5,000-$6,000 is average price for a short throw projector, right?
And it's funny how it is all a bit cyclical, right? Like you're talking specifically about short throw, right? I remember short throw 30 years ago in a bar, right? It's a big concave screen with a 3-gun, D90 in there or whatever it was, and like that was your short throw projector, and it wasn't that deep.
You're going to watch Rocky.
Sick.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The fixed focal length on the super curved screen to watch, watch Apollo Creed, stomp the crap out of Rocky Balboa. I don't know why that specific memory came up when you started to describe that, but that's literally when I thought about that application for some reason. That was the VHS tape that loaded in my brain. Like, oh yeah.
I just have fond memories of like, watching a basketball game and like the ESPN, the score bug at the bottom, because the alignment was off. You saw all three colors of every single line that was on that thing, right? And
the convergence gets a little shaggy, like out at the ends, or it's just been set up for a really long time. So there's just three of everybody. So that's pretty cool.
So we're all very fortunate that now we're past. We're past convergence, right?
We talked about progress, and there's one of those things. There's probably some 30-year-old technicians out there that have been in the game for a while going, what are these old cats talking about? Like, what is convergence? What do you mean?
And that's, and I mean, I'm a pretty old guy, but I mean, I remember doing my ISF and then immediately going out into field to calibrate, 3-gun Sonys that were the size of a Volkswagen on a ceiling.
Sure.
Right. Like, I mean, thankfully we're way past chips are way better. We're in
one guy can go out and hang a projector. I mean, I remember again, here we are kind of going down memory lane here a little bit, but as in my days as a tech, I had many days where I was by myself, working out a way to hang a projection screen by myself,
right?
Make sure it's level, put it all together, keep it clean. And then, hang a projector by myself. Now that's probably pretty standard issue for a lot of people.
Totally.
That's nothing, again, younger guys are like, that was Wednesday for me, dude. Like, big deal.
You do projectors?
What are you doing? Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I still think there's a lot of love in the world for projection out there. But to circle back to our conversation here, we took a little off ramp, and we'll get back on the highway of TV talk. Outside of the plethora of new options for technology, you also still have, I would say, maybe a little underemphasized out there, but the looming specter of oversupply still exists. There were a lot of happy factories that were operating under the COVID times that really didn't see a reason or a want, or maybe even a capability to slow some of their production as demand started to wane. It's really fun and exciting for a factory to tool up and start cranking out boxes and start cranking out raw materials to make technology. And especially with all of the, semiconductor issues that we had, et cetera. So all of a sudden, everybody starts to go outside and go back on vacation, and you start to see these things happening. And the factory that's still churning out panels has not turned off.
Right. It's still going, and there's more of them in more places.
Doug and Lucy are on vacation with their kids somewhere. They're not worried about buying a new TV set because maybe they did during COVID or what have you. So I think you have a couple of compounding issues. You've got people that maybe did a complete technology refresh. So you've got, 2020 to, what do you say, average 5 to 7 years lifespan on most panels. So we're, just into 2024, we're not, we're 3-ish years shy or clear of COVID. We'll put that in quotations, right? So lots of oversupply. You've got people that refresh their technology when they were cocooning, and as the law of averages and the way of capitalism, the more supply you got and the less demand you got means price is going to go down.
Sure,
right?
Just the new competition, new competitors in different places, and
let's not talk about the onslaught of, and that's there's a fair point too, Chris. Right, you've got new panel manufacturers that are in the game that at CES this year, it wasn't the majors that had the big TV booths going. It was the upcomers from China, right? Your TCLs, your Hisenses. Mm-hmm. We're not afraid to call them out. And maybe you missed it in the news, but Walmart made like a $2.6
right.
billion little, they dug around in the couch cushions and pulled out some spare change to buy up Vizio to make that a private house brand.
It's a big deal.
That is a much bigger shift in the consumer display technology paradigm than might probably look like it, at first glance.
Well, and
That
it's a total puzzler too, right? Like you've got this weird. I mean, it's a very non-traditional alignment, right? Like you've got this huge megalith, Walmart, right? And I'm sure somebody looked at a balance sheet and said, "Hey, we are selling Vizio TVs like hotcakes to our target demographic. Let's let's get into that vertical." And that's how they did it, right?
Yeah, and it becomes a pipeline for their IP. It becomes
Sure.
it becomes a conduit to deliver content to customers that they're looking for. So while everybody kind of worries about the specter of, Big Brother looking in on maybe certain aspects of, private parts of their lives, we're actively feeding the beast with our demand for I want to click on it content. I want to be able to binge, the Housewives, or I want to be able to watch my Motor Trend or
Yep.
what have you. So
I
again,
want my recommendations tailored just for me. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't want anybody to know what they are.
Right.
It's a strange, it's a
These two are
dichotomy that
yeah,
they just antimatter and matter just they can't exist in the
right.
same place at the same time.
I don't want the government listening to me, but hey, I have 3 Alexas on my nightstand right now.
Right. Or,
Sure.
I don't want them tracking me, but let me call you on about and talk to you about it on my cell phone.
Right.
So, to circle, where here we are again, we're totally off the highway, but I like that. That's kind of what we like to do on our little show here. But, thinking about, the TV business in general, and to circle back to, how do I make money at the TV, and the TV game, the video game, and there's certainly some ways to do that, even in the reality of, let's just call it, you know, sub $10,000 100-inch TVs. And to even say that now,
Right.
it kind of takes me back to like my days, at retail in the big screen room when you had that one, monumental rear projection TV that was, 46 inches or
Right.
something. And, people are beating each other over the head to get the first one for $1,000,
We're just showing our age here, man.
well,
Diamond Vision, Pro Scan.
that's all I have.
Sure.
I've just got the years at this point. But, what is it? What's the new technology? What's the new shiny thing? And what's changing in the TV game right now? And I think one of the big things that we're going to see is the pricing in the OLED space continue to fall off, and what's considered premium in OLED now is really going to be standard issue for that technology, which is fantastic, right? I'm not here to
Sure.
I'm not here to bash OLED. I got one over my shoulder here. Love the technology, love the black level. We talked about the Curo. I'm a old school plasma guy. Like no hate, no nothing like that for OLED. But what's the new technology going to be? What's the refinement going to be? And looking at what Sony's bringing out here in the next year for 2024, mini LED
Yeah.
is the I'm trying to look for like a good metaphor, but like the new cute person at the party, like right, like ooh, like
Here's the new hotness, right?
yeah,
Sure.
what are this? What's this all about? What are they all about? And mini LED, I think traditionally, or at least up until now, has kind of been maligned because it hasn't looked the same as what OLED does. And anybody that walked into a comparison or a shootout, you look at OLED, it's very pleasing to the eye, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But from what we hear, the new technology that Sony's bringing to the forefront is really going to be a far more exciting lane to run down and give you tools as a dealer to make some money selling premium panels.
Right. And it's that. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Is that the demonstrations that are going to be rolled out with these, with this new line of TVs? I mean, it's it's going to put it in very stark contrast, right? Like there's definitely a few demos that we've heard about coming down the pipe that are
Right.
really
Yes.
going to knock your socks off, really give you reasons to buy this or to sell this over that, and really kind of demonstrate what the technology can do, and what you can do when you strap something like this to a Sony processor and let it run, right? Like there's
Right.
not a whole lot of comparison there,
So yeah, well, so at the time of this recording, Sony has not made the product announcements yet for what the specific pricing, specific sizes, technology, what have you. But there are a few tidbits that we have been given, and maybe we can throw. I think we might have even thrown a link up to this episode before. But Caleb Dennison
Yep.
did a broadcast about mini LED and Sony specifically, and what they're doing to really advance that technology. And let's face it, mini LED is all about the backlighting, right? The
Right.
LED panels themselves are pretty well established. So what else can we add to cutting edge technology to make it even better, and improving the backlighting system? And that is really what Sony's bringing to the forefront. One of the cool things that has been kind of articulated to us by our partners at Sony, but also through some of the professional interactions that we've had, is that Sony has a story about lens to living room, or bringing cinema home for this year, for 2024, using technology that's based on professional infrastructure and architecture is kind of a hallmark for Sony consumer goods. And for this year, I think that's probably the most exciting thing about the TVs that are coming to the market, is they're actually based on the standard of the issue, standard issue, standard of the industry, however you want to place it.
Right.
The BVM color grading monitors that they actually use to create content on.
Right.
So it's sort of like the comparison of for lack of a better one. I'm a car guy. The Ferrari, right? Like you can say, yeah, Ferrari makes a Formula One car, and although I don't need a Formula One car, I'd really like some of the technology that trickles down from that. And I think it's a fair comparison to make when we talk about what the new BVM monitors are into what these new exciting consumer panels are going to be about.
Yeah, and that has been kind of the theme. Like I don't feel like we're talking out of school on this at all, because it's kind of been part of all of the promos and all of the displays that they've done. It was part of the pro show that we saw in San Diego. It's been kind of part of things all along, where that color grading monitor is literally the director's intent, right? Like it's not hard to imagine that there's a director who's standing over an editor looking at this monitor, directing how that movie is going to look and how it's going to feel. And if that technology moves into your home, that is absolutely the best way to get your director's intent. And it kind of tells that story, that lens to living room, that cinema to home story.
Right. Well, that's, again, kind of circles back to, for like, Sony's not like married, and I'm not here to speak for them. I used to work there, full disclosure, right? But the reality is
Nobody did that, Jason. Nobody knew that.
Nobody knew that. Well, if you never heard this for the first time, we'll just throw that out there, okay? But when you think about the lifespan of the company, like, they've certainly pioneered some technology, the Trinitron, color TV, the transistor. They've
Just a
come up
couple
with
things.
picked up a few things along the way, but they've never been shy to adopt or change direction, or say, you know what, we've looked at this, and they're not afraid to look at things and go, yeah, there is better. There are other options. We can continue to refine and improve this. So, the fact that they're not completely, nailed into one specific technology is kind of cooked into their DNA. And when you look at, again, professional color grading, okay, if mini LED is the right way to get higher nit brightness, better contrast, better motion, and be able to kind of strike the balance between really killer black level, like comparison to OLED, but to have it to be bright enough to put it in a room and watch it in broad daylight, and have a similar OLED experience. Like that's kind of the holy grail of technology is capable of today. Bring the movie experience out into the light.
Right.
And whether or not you agree with that particular formula is a completely different completely
Well,
different conversation. But having the
and
flexibility to deliver, that's what's up.
right, and making trying to bring the best of both worlds together, right? So OLED color and brightness without the glare, right? So now you're more free to put this in whatever room you need to. Your great room in Malibu that's that's glass on
Right.
all your sides. Here's the product for you, right? This is why
Yeah.
you should choose this, and I think that's going to become apparent as more news of these models comes out.
You live in the Pacific Northwest, and in the summertime, the sun doesn't set until maybe 11 o'clock at
Right.
night for a couple of weeks. You got a lot of daylight to deal with, and maybe you've got $1 million view. Maybe you've got a $6 million view. I used to say this all the time when people would ask me, like, well, I love the OLED. Why would I put, an LED in this room? I'm like, you've got a $6 million view. Do you want to have to draw the shades to see the TV during the afternoon hours or evening hours in the summertime? I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably not a compromise that you're going to be willing to accept, Mr. or Mrs. Customer. It's just kind of how that math works. So, yeah, we haven't even seen this tech firsthand yet, but we have seen some hints and hey, little
Various
nudges.
documents in
Yeah,
Japanese
various
only and sorts of
documents.
things.
Yeah, exactly. So when by the time this cast is released, we will have more details. But we want to make sure that we're pointing to the solutions, obviously that we support, but just in general, talk about the technology in the space. You're not going to see from any major vendor out there, unless there's a massive revolution in technology, some wild new ultra high end price point for standard issue. And we'll just say sub 100-inch televisions, right?
Sure.
When you start looking at bigger than 100-inch, obviously your amount of people that can even fit that into their house and the shipping and all that stuff that goes along with it is going to curtail that market, so that ultra large format is still going to be a great option for you. If whether that's a video wall or single screen solution or two-piece projection,
Right.
let's not forget about that. There's a lot of great solutions out there with screen material and projector you can put together to create a fully custom, awesome video endpoint for your clients. And I want to continue to ring that bell or what have you. Let's not forget about projectors, because I love that technology, and
Yeah.
it's really the kind of harkens back to shadow puppets on a cave wall. So, prehistoric man or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
That's a really long road to look at it from, but technically that's kind of where the idea for all of this stuff comes from,
Well,
right? Telling stories with pictures.
there's very much there's a feeling you get when you're watching projection, and it's kind of hard to articulate, but I would imagine it psychologically. It probably goes back to just exactly what you're talking about, where at some point us monkeys were in caves, but it's very much it's an encompassing feeling, right? Like you're in a theater, there's a projection system in there. It is absolutely taking up all of your intention, right? Like you're not you're not sitting in your theater chair with Pearl Harbor on a 130-inch screen masking and all that stuff, and sitting there scrolling through your phone, or at least most of us aren't, right? It's absolutely enveloping you in the experience, and yeah, in my opinion, there's really not there's nothing besides projection that could really kind of do that. Some of these video walls get really close, but you lose a lot of the immersion.
They don't have the same. They don't have the same, and it's hard to articulate this, but they don't have the same kind of like aesthetic to the eye, right? Like it's like looking at a big TV or a big watch or
Right.
what like anything with an LCD screen on it. Yeah, it's going to have impeccable contrast because you're dealing with unnatural points of light and darkness, right? Where projector has to live in that world of, hey, like I can't really shoot the color black through the air. Like that's not something that a
Right.
light bulb can do real well, and or a laser beam or any of that technology. There's nothing that emits light that comes out dark, or black, right? So it kind of like it's a projection, and I think just lives in that world in reality in terms of the standard lighting spectrum that we live with every day. That just is something that is pleasing to the eye, and certainly people from our era have seen lots of projectors and probably have some rose-colored perspectives of, oh man, I saw Indiana Jones in the movie theater or what have you, and nothing looks like that.
I mean,
Right?
you hit it though. People of our genre used to go to movies, right? Like that's here's how the world is. But my 8-year-old loves going to movies because it's a totally novel thing. But there's certainly an entire generation who consumes content,
It's not every
10
weekend, I'll
inches
tell
in
you
front of
that.
their face,
Yeah,
right? It's not
there's
like it
no
was with us.
no, that's whatever. Well, yeah, is this two old guys complaining about technology or a discussion about the
This
TV
is gonna
business?
be this is gonna be the car guys for the video set, right? All we need is
Right,
like
yeah.
Boston accents, and we're all set.
Hey, Southeast, it's
Yeah,
all
my
good.
brother Tom. Yeah, we got
Yeah, hey. He works in recycling. It's fine.
right.
He's never touched a garbage can in his life, but he works in waste management.
Yeah,
No
totally.
big deal.
Yep.
It's totally fine. But again, looking at what is happening in the TV market, I think for our dealers out there and for your customers out there, the things that you should be looking for, of course, is to be pushing the latest and greatest and focusing on performance where the clients that are looking for the best picture quality out there, I think mini LED for 2024 is going to be a very strong option, to be able to rationalize, go in that direction, straight pure performance. But also, let's just talk about the nuts and bolts of it. You're in business. The only way to get those premium prices on TVs is to sell the best technology that's available, and that typically is going to come with the highest price. The good news for you now is that if $7,000, we'll just call it like that, is the ceiling for a large format TV, I think that opens the door to a lot more opportunity to get a bunch more placement in those kinds of price bands. It's not the cost prohibitive thing that it used to be.
Sure.
Or conversely, in the smaller screen sizes, a 85-inch, we'll just call that a smaller screen size, which is I
Tiny,
can't fit
just
that in my
tiny.
living room or in my office, but there's walls out there for these screens, right? You'll have new technology to lean on and say like, yeah, well, I don't have color grading capability exactly yet in 98 or in 100, but I've got I've got it in 85-inch, and for me personally, I'm really excited to see that firsthand at some of our upcoming road shows. So I think this is a great time to actually
Yeah.
segue some of that stuff. So Chris, the official dates, and I know that you're probably shooting daggers at me through the screen
Nah,
right
you're.
now, but it's the
I've been living
7th
and
of
breathing
May
this.
and the 21st of May, right?
That is
Correct?
correct. Yes, it is the
So,
seventh of May in the Bay Area in Emeryville, and it is the 21st of May in Seattle area in Tukwila, or however you say
right.
it.
Yeah, Tukwila, right at the good old, I think it's the Doubletree.
South
And
Center, yeah,
South
DoubleTree
Center
South Center.
Doubletree.
Yep.
Yep. So right there by good old SeaTac, and then certainly the Hyatt House there in Emeryville in the Bay Area. Great way for our partners that are in the city to be able to get over the bridge and come up and see us out there in Emeryville. But also our folks from San Jose, you're on the right side of the bay, right? You're not
Right.
you're not having
Right.
to traverse you're not having to
Right.
traverse the Oakland Bay Bridge kind of thing to get into the city. You can stay on your side of the you can stay on your
Right.
side of the water and not have to worry about trucking through San Francisco or any of that stuff to come up there and see us. And I know for everybody out there, I think you and I, yours truly, will be in attendance at both of these extravaganzas, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there because for this year, little different format than what we've had in the past, and I think a higher engagement level from the Sony factory. So it'll be specific time for the CI group, but you will see, I think, a bigger factory level support and bigger factory level interaction
Yep.
based on what we're seeing And this will be the Sony show. It's not going to be spread around with a bunch of other vendors or brands or anything like that. You're going to be able to come out and get bathed in all the beautiful things that are Sony video and Sony audio products.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. It's a much more focused event, and certainly come out and have Russell bathe you. That really is the draw there. But
video bath. It's a video bath.
Yeah,
it's just light. You don't have to do anything weird. You
the
just
marketing
have to
writes
look
itself.
at screens.
Bathe yourself with Russell is really
no. Don't do that. Don't. It's bathe yourself in Sony.
Yes,
video.
Sure.
Goodness.
That's what I meant to say.
Light, color, motion, contrast, clarity, Chris. Come on.
Well, and that's a big part of it too. Like we've been very outspoken and insistent on making sure that it's not just kind of your typical, here's a TV, here's a TV, here's a TV, right? Like you can get that experience wherever. This is definitely going to be more interactive. There's specifically sections on, focused at a technician who would be in front of this TV in a client's home, how to set this thing up, how to do it effectively, how to make it look the best that it can in the least amount of time possible. So it is, there's a lot of value there other than just seeing these demos and understanding how to sell this against all the other competitors that are out there. And again, it's not just
that part. That's one of the main draws. Like it's great to come out and, be a principal, right? Be a business owner or be, sales manager or something like that and go, okay, cool. Sony's in town. Let me go check out the new TVs. Let me go talk to Russell and Kathleen. Let me go talk to Robert Dawson or Jason Savage or Chris Barlow or whatever it is.
Nobody's coming to talk to me. Nobody.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm going to come and talk to you, but that's, it's because I'm mad at you about, you owe me some money, I think, or something. But anyways, joking aside, this is a place where, you'll be able to bring your techs, the guys that are in the field, and be able to get something out of it for them and to make your business with Sony and their experience with Sony be a lot more familiar. Yes, I believe we're going to serve lunch and we're going to have the standard fare. We're going to do some, interactive stuff with the audiences that show up.
Yeah.
But
it's all the typical stuff. There's going to be some giveaways. There's going to be swag. There's going to be lunch. There's going to be all these. But the real pull is the demos are a lot better, and there's going to be product
some
comparative
really compelling ones
side by side. Hey, this is what we look like against the competition. Here's what it's going to be, and the hands-on trainings, and just having access to everybody to ask them all the questions to your heart's content. Ask John Bowen for his life story. We beg you. That sounds awesome.
We want to hear that. We're going to have him. We're going to have him on here for sure.
Absolutely.
We want to have that. We want to have that show for posterity, but also. Just to hear the stories, it would probably be like a 3-hour episode or something like that. We'll
just a solid dude telling stories about the
he's our Sony ambassador he's a Sony ambassador for a reason. What I mean? But to circle back to the line shows, we don't want to give away all the details yet, but suffice it to say there are going to be some technology demonstrations and some unique things that you'll be able to see that really just aren't available in other venues. This is not for customers. This is really just for you guys, our dealers, to come out and get educated and interact with obviously the Sony factory folks, but your friendly neighborhood Sony rep as well. Whether you're in the Bay Area or you're in the Pacific Northwest, these two venues are going to be Sony specific shows. And also, I think this is a great segue for us as well to tee up and shall we say soft announce the upcoming.
Oh, we're going to tell them? Oh boy.
Yeah, we want to get out in those secondary markets. So stay tuned for some announcements from us to come out and see you maybe in a Reno-ish type of area, maybe a Boise type of zone. Who knows? We're working with our vendor partners and working as a team to cook up some events where you don't have to make the trek to come to us. We're going to come out to you and try to show you what we have to offer and the kind of partnership that we have to bring to the space and to the market.
There are a lot of one of the things I've kind of gotten up to speed quickly with in this role is there are a lot of amazing dealers in secondary markets, right? Like not everybody is in LA, New York, San Francisco, and
Yeah,
Seattle, right?
and
Like,
that's not even a fair term, right? Like
yeah,
secondary market. Look, dude,
yeah,
I'm
that
putting
sounds
$20 million
discriminatory,
houses together. Tell me what's second about that, my friend. There's
right?
nothing. There's nothing secondary about that.
A
Really, it's
thousand
more
percent.
about just population base. So I
Yeah,
just that even that term, I'm like, is that even the right term? I think it's more like you know some of our deeper markets. I think that's a fair fair expression. It's
less
great to have a
populated,
yeah, Seattle. It's great
oft
to have a
oft
Seattle in your
forgotten, right?
backyard or San Francisco
Hidden
to lean on.
gems, But
But
it's true though, and we've had a couple of guys on. We had a gentleman on from Boise, and we've had a guy on from Anchorage, recently, and it's incredible. Like it's a great story. Not everybody is again in San Francisco or in LA or in the Valley or wherever, and
doesn't mean you're not
that's
doing any better business or bigger
exactly.
projects.
So
You actually have you have the real estate to build a 15,000 square foot under roof mega house.
right, and for me, I mean, you don't have to deal with as many people, which is great. That's just a win-win all the way around. It's less
Wow,
people.
we could actually have a podcast studio and live in separate parts of the house and never have to see each other the whole time. It'd be great.
I mean, if I could live under a bridge and do this, I would be all about it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah, it is fun to stretch our lungs here and flap our jaws a little bit.
But yeah, so it's still very early, but we are absolutely putting together for at least two of the hidden gem markets, we'll call them, Boise and Reno. Those are probably going to be our first two. But essentially, what we want to do is we want to take the line show there, and we want to we'll partner with a great vendor somewhere there, and we'll do a whole thing, and it'll that way you don't have to come to Seattle,
Right.
you don't have to come to the SoCal CDA shows or whatever. Like that's really what we're looking to do. So again, my plea here for interaction is if you like the idea, leave a comment.
Please, yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions. We'd love to if you're in a market and you're like, hey, you need to bring the Sony outdoor system and invisible system and a Sony TV and a Sony receiver,
Yeah.
and some stuff with you so that our team can see it and our customers can hear it and touch and feel it. Those are the kinds of activities I think that really are going to generate sales for all of our guys out there, but certainly help us build those relationships that we're looking to honor and to have them be genuine partnerships.
And that's one more thing, with our we've said it on a few episodes or whatever, but people we're manufacturers reps, right? Like everybody assumes that we're manufacturers reps. Well, we represent our dealers as much as we represent our manufacturers, right? So
Absolutely.
if there's a need, like if you're sitting there listening to this in Olympia and you're thinking, I never see anything out here, like, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let me know.
That's a short drive for me.
Let's make something,
I was thinking about a harder one, like, Eugene or somewhere like that, or, somewhere like Shasta, California. Like, if you're
if you're an integrator in Shasta, please.
You're doing things. We want to talk to you.
Absolutely. Because that's who we are, right? We are as integrators, we are a rich tapestry across this great land, and
I agree. It's a network. I would say you could say tapestry of nightmares in some respects, but I'm glad that it's a fabric that's diverse and got a lot of cool people in it.
we all face the same challenges for the most part, right? Like we're all, clients are the same no matter what, right? Like the products are the same pretty much no matter what. And, frankly, if all you're doing is opening up CE Pro and you're seeing profiles on companies that are, in Hollywood or in New York or Florida or whatever, that's a massive part of this country who doesn't really get heard from. And, what I've learned just from doing, the 10 or 15 episodes of the show so far, just in the people we've talked to, there's a huge market out there, and it's really interesting, the specific challenges, but we're all kind of part of the same family here. We all we face the same struggles,
Yeah, we are. So, that's the part of the community and the stuff that we're trying to build. So I don't know exactly how we meandered off of the highway again, but
Yeah, wait, we were talking about TVs like an hour ago.
tangentially, I think we're pretty much right on course for the ADD episodes that we typically seem to have, and I think that's part and parcel of, there's a lot of ground to cover, a lot of information to touch on, and points that we want to talk about. But ultimately, I think to put a bow on this, because we've been chopping it up here for. I mean, I can't believe that this has been like 45 minutes plus, so that's kind of exciting for kind of pulling it off the dome. But
Well, let's go inside baseball a little bit and say me and you had a call yesterday, like, oh, hey, what guest should we get on? And we just both were like, let's just do a BS show and
yeah,
we'll go from there. Let's figure out a topic to talk about. Okay. Oh, mini LED, great.
yeah, Barlow and Savage show. We're
Yeah.
just, we're just doing what we do, and we're talking shop. We're talking about the industry. We're talking about stories of our lives. We're talking about curved TVs and how that was a bad idea,
Right.
and
And
how
to put
things
that
are working.
thing in a bar with cigarette smoke, because that was how we did it back then, right? Clean those guns. They're looking a little, everything
Man,
looks a little brown.
I'm getting a little
Right.
teary eyed thinking about some
That's
of
the
that.
nicotine. It's coming back, right?
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, it does. Yeah, cigarette smoke does sting your eyes a little bit. But
Sure.
love it. Okay, well, I think we've kind of trampled this one. Just to suffice it to say, or to sum it all up, reach out to your local Sony rep. Stay tuned for the announcements on new product. We'll be shipping out as much information. We'll be touching base with you guys and sharing the training and the information that we get. Typically we see televisions roll out now from the spring through the summer. So if you've got projects that are on the horizon, come and talk to the line show. Come and check it out. We'll be doing some outreach as we mentioned, but the Sony shows that are coming up is going to be your first opportunity to get your eyeballs on something new and something cool.
Yep.
And how to make money selling TVs. Sell the best, sell Sony, forget the rest. There's a nice little rhyme I came up with real fast.
That's you should trademark that for sure.
I should.
That's going to be.
I think somebody probably already owns that, but it's okay.
We're going to turn that into a TikTok dance. We're going to animate a guy doing it. It's going to be great. It's just going to be that over and over.
Perfect. Well, looking forward to that. Chris, you need to find something else to do with your spare time.
All that spare time.
So with that, we will end this episode. From me, Jason Savage, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. And Chris?
Just let me throw my plug in one more time. May 7th in the Bay Area and May 21st in the Seattle area for the Sony line shows. Contact your rep. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
See ya.